You're watching CGTV, Community Government Television, Channel 11, Pitkin County, City of Aspen, and Town of Snowmass Village.
The City of Aspen, established in 1881, has over 220 full-time employees, a number that swells to more than 425 with the addition of seasonal and temporary workers. Organized into more than 20 departments, the City of Aspen provides major amenities like parks, a rec center, and open space, and services like utilities and police and Kids First to its residents and visitors. From the golf course to the Community Development Department, the Wheeler Opera House to the Parking Department, the City of Aspen and its employees strive to do the best job possible. A major goal of the city is keeping open communication between the government and the citizens. Welcome to City Matters, a show where the city does matter, and matters of the city are brought to you. Hi, and welcome to City Matters. I'm Mitzi Rapkin, Community Relations Director for the City of Aspen, and on this show we talk about all things city, and today I'm honored to be joined by Sarah Roy, the Director of the Red Brick Center for the Arts. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Mitzi.
So you are new to the city and new to the Red Brick, yes. Fairly new. Tell me a little bit about your background.
Definitely. You know, I've been actually in the Roaring Fork Valley coming on 20 years now, and I have worked in both the for-profit gallery world here in Aspen, as well as I worked for a nonprofit visual arts education organization, and I ran my own art consulting business for several years. So I did move away briefly for about 3 years and earned a Master's in Fine Art degree from the Art Institute of Boston, but definitely had the call of Aspen to come back to work here in the Valley. So I've had the great privilege of working in a field that I love for so long. And then to join the City of Aspen in the Red Brick is great to continue to work in the visual arts, but now from a new perspective, from a community arts center, which is great.
So when you got your master's, you were doing art?
Yes, I was.
What's your main discipline?
Photography. So it was a degree in studio art with a focus on photography. So
Are you fitting that in?
You know, I'm not practicing as much anymore right now. Between family life and work life, be able to work for or work with artists, I think kind of fills that kind of creative urge that I might have. So, yeah.
I'm sure. Every day you're just around that sort of creativity.
Yes, yeah.
So what is the mission of the Red Brick?
You know, the Red Brick is a center that's devoted to the discovery and the promotion of the visual arts within the community. It supports that through offering affordable office space to nonprofits, as well as studio space to artists. It also has 2 community spaces that are available for outside organizations to rent or individuals to come in and use. And then we also offer a gallery exhibition program, which features rotating exhibits of both local and regional artists, and we offer youth and adult art classes.
And it's great because people, a lot of most of your exhibits are along the hallways.
Yes.
And so people can come in 9 to 5?
Yep, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. The building is open to the public. And we also have a wonderful kind of foyer seating area that people come in and you can plug into your laptop and sit there and enjoy the art, or walk up and down the hall and see a class maybe taking place, or pop into a nonprofit to talk with them. So yeah.
It's so great because you can kind of feel the energy of the building shift every 6 weeks or so when you have a new show.
Yes.
Right now I was walking through and the first part of the building is kind of more, it's almost like graphic. It's not graphic art, but it seems very like there's numbers and very sort of symmetrical art, and then when you get halfway down the hallway you're sort of in the aspen forest.
Yes.
But other times, like when you have kids exhibits, it's like stuff everywhere and colors
Yes.
and little things, so it always is changing.
It is always changing. And, it's a long hallway, so it's a lot of wall space, which is really great because it offers that opportunity to show multiple different artists at once, and giving each one a really generous space to exhibit their work.
Yeah, and can you tell me a little bit about the history with the red brick?
Yeah, the red brick was, I think finished being built in 1942 and it was built as a schoolhouse. So it was home to the Aspen Elementary, Middle, and High Schools. And then in 1991, the school district had consolidated its campus to its current location and put the building up for sale. And an organization known as the Aspen Snowmass Council for the Arts had kind of the vision and idea to petition the city to purchase the building, and with the stated intent of being a home for the arts and being a home for nonprofits and working artist studio spaces. So it was put to a community vote and passed by the legendary 3 votes, and that's what it has been ever since.
Yeah, it's so amazing. And the city purchased the building.
Yes, so the city has owned the building since the 1991 or 1992. I don't know exactly when the sale went through, but since that time they have owned the building. And again, have the intent of being kind of home for nonprofits and artists. Community space, community use, while promoting the visual arts has been kind of the core focus and mission of the Red Brick. So.
And sort of what is the community center aspect of the building?
Yep, it's interesting at the Red Brick because it has such a diverse, has so many diverse uses to it. Like I said, there's these community spaces, the conference room and a dance studio that allows for outside organizations, outside support groups, individuals to come in and use the building. I mean, on an average day at the Red Brick, you might have a taekwondo class that's happening. You'll have an outside nonprofit hosting a board meeting in the community room. You could have the Aspen Tibet monks leading a meditation class. You have the nonprofits working in their working in their offices, and you have the artists working in their studios. You have a figure drawing class happening in the classroom, and you have a gallery exhibition and tourists and visitors coming through to see artwork and purchase artwork. So it's this kind of messy vitality that happens at the Red Brick. And to me, that's kind of the definition of a community center, is such a diverse use in so many ways that people can come and kind of engage, connect with other people, learn something, experience something new, all in a single space.
It's so nice too, because you were mentioning that sometimes people can just come in and relax in the lobby. In the
Yes.
very west end, there's a fairly new addition, and there's some couches there, and it's kind of a good place to hide out. Like if you want to just come and get some work done, it's quiet, but it just has a good vibe.
It does, and you see a lot of people doing that, which is really great because we have free Wi-Fi, so we kind of have the amenities that you want. Now we don't have, we're not like a local coffee shop, so we don't have that aspect, but sometimes it's a little bit quieter. And again, I think people pull from, like you're saying, the energy that's kind of always happening at the Red Brick.
Yeah, so if you're looking for someone from your office and you can't find them, maybe they'll be in our lobby.
They could be.
So there's kind of a few main points of what you do, and we talked a little bit about the art on the hallways. Yep. So art openings is a big deal.
It is. So our exhibition program is definitely core to what the Red Brick does. There are a couple of key components to the exhibition. One, for local artists and regional artists, what we want to focus on is exhibiting kind of complete bodies of work by artists. And what I mean by a complete body of work from an artist is that the artistic process of creating art, you often start with an idea or question that you're wanting to explore. And that artist will take that idea or that question and they'll start to say, how can I visually represent it? And they're going to go through a process of experimentation, of probably failures, of successes, as they move through their medium or trying out a new medium to represent that. And it often culminates in in the final product, or you have thought through that whole process and you complete a body of work, and then the exhibition is kind of the end of that. But then to put that out into the public, to open yourself up as an artist, is a very scary thing. You know, you're taking a lot of risk because you know you're opening yourself up to comments, both good feedback and bad feedback. So I feel like the exhibition program is kind of fundamental to allow local artists to be able to experience that. And that is unique in Aspen, that we do focus on kind of local artists and allowing them this opportunity. The other part of it is opportunities to sell, because as a working artist, being able to make money off of your artwork allows for this to be your livelihood, allows for this to take a center focus in your life, which again I think is fundamental to the exhibition program, and why it ties back into the Red Brick as being a place that supports individual artists working in Aspen, not only offering them studio space, but the exhibition opportunity as well.
So how do you, I assume that you curate a lot of them. How do you find some of these artists? I mean, say I'm just doing my art away in my house and I've never contacted you. How do you get new blood?
You know, a lot of it's just word of mouth. And I mean, that's how it works. It's from artists will share with another artist, hey, there's this great show coming up, I think you should apply, your work would fit in with that theme. As well as there's a gallery committee at the Red Brick, and they're instrumental to knowing artists in the valley, up and down the valley, and sharing the mission of the Red Brick and the exhibition opportunities there to bring them in as well.
Right. So that is one component of the Red Brick. Another is studio space, actually offering places for artists to make their work.
Yes, which again comes back to the core kind of mission of the Red Brick, or the intent of the Red Brick, is offering affordable studio space, which again we know in the real estate market in Aspen is pretty special, you know, and is very unique because it allows them to work here in Aspen. And same with the nonprofits, and to have them all under one roof, again, just then opens up the magic. But at the core of being able to keep them here and allow for their work to happen here in Aspen, not only I feel like adds to the community of Aspen, the experience of Aspen, but for both a nonprofit and an artist, you know, their work speaks to the value of Aspen in the mind, body, and spirit. And those values that the city of Aspen and our community hold true. Artists and nonprofits, their work contributes to that. And so to have them here in Aspen, again, kind of ties it all back together of why it makes sense to be a community center.
And it's so great too when you think about maybe where some people live. You know, I do art projects and I live in 420 square feet, and I've done art projects where I'm like tiptoeing in the middle of the night over like paint cans and sewing machines, and to have the space, and people can come all hours, right?
Yes. So it is open to the public, and you will see it. Visitors and locals alike coming up and down the hall, going in to speak to artists, looking at their work, purchasing work. But again, what I hear from the artists and what I heard from the nonprofits is you don't want to often, you can get stuck making your work in a vacuum. And that's not going to serve you as an artist or your artwork. And so to share the same space opens up those opportunities for collaboration. It opens up those opportunities to have a conversation, to exchange an idea, to learn something new, to have a critique with a friend that you trust, you know, to get that feedback. As an artist, feedback is so important to the artistic practice. And so I know from an artist perspective, what I hear from them is that this is kind of essential to them in creating their work. So yeah.
And they could come at midnight if they want.
Yes, so they're able to access their studio 24/7.
Yes.
Which, as an artist, yes, when you get that bug, you get that idea, you got to go for it.
Exactly. So you were talking about collaboration. Another great aspect that you mentioned earlier that I'd like to talk more about is that this is a nonprofit space. So we have a lot of artistic, kind of life of the mind nonprofits that are here. Who are they?
There are 10 nonprofits, and I would say just really robust nonprofits that have been in the valley for decades. You know, examples would be Jazz Aspen Snowmass, Aspen Word, the Chris Klug Foundation, Grassroots, Aspen Public Radio, the Buddy Program, Theater Aspen, and Aspen Film. I think I maybe have hit them all. And then, so yes, they are, I mean, indisposable organizations, I feel like, to Aspen and to our valley, and both in the work that they do, the presence that they hold, and kind of what they add to life here. So, yeah.
And you were saying sort of the importance with artists to collaborate and get ideas. Have you seen that happen with the nonprofit, sort of organic experiences of discussions or ways that you might have collaborated with them?
Absolutely. I mean, I think fundamentally you have friendships that are grown among all of the people that work there, which I think are so important and special to feeling your day-to-day existence at work. But then those opportunities to collaborate also happen. And you see that, I know recently Aspen Film and Aspen Word were collaborating on a project. We have started to do it in our gallery exhibition program. And we heard this idea from the nonprofits that they wanted to get more involved with the programming that's happening at the building. And one of the ideas that the nonprofits came up with was, let us sponsor the exhibitions. And by sponsoring the exhibits, we do a lot of cross-marketing, which is great. But they also create for the opening reception night. We've kind of formulated this idea that we want the opening reception nights to be kind of like a happening or an event, kind of add a new element to that experience. And so for Aspen Film, when they sponsored it, we set up a projector in the lobby and we're playing some of their short fest movies on the wall, which was really great. And they opened their doors to the public to come into their office and talk about their programming. And from that, they said they met new people that had not known about Aspen Film and what they did. So again, it's all about, I think, all of us being able to make those connections, and together, like anything, the saying goes, it takes a village, and it does. And it takes a village to create a community center, and it takes a village, I think, to create a community. And so you see that everyone working together with purpose and intention.
Yeah, it's interesting. I took part in one of those collaborations years ago with Aspen Words, where Shelley Marolt, who I believe has an artist space here, made a painting, and I wrote a story about it and read it, and it was something that fundamentally changed how I write. So it's like you don't even know what kind of relationships you're fostering that can change the artistic process for people forever.
Yes, yeah.
Which is really wonderful. And that also goes back to another thing that you do there here, which is programming, which is trying to enrich people's lives through art classes and through for kids and adults. So what is the programming of the Red Brick? What's that about?
We offer youth and adult classes. So our youth classes, we focus on after school. We also do all-day art camps on the days the schools are closed. And then during the summer, we offer summer camps, kind of a Monday through Friday summer camps that attract both kind of locals and visitors alike. For our adult classes, we offer a paint and wine class, a watercolor and wine class. You can
There's a theme.
There's a theme. There is a theme. You know, and I think the theme is that we want our classes to be fun. You know, they are about just getting together with other people and sharing an experience with other people. And the experience happens to be over art, but like you said, it's really just about offering a space that things that you don't plan happen. And those are what's important. It's that conversation or meeting somebody new that you drew a connection with that can all of a sudden start to take you on a new path or teach you something new in life. And so those are our adult classes. We also have a figure drawing class. So there's a lot of opportunity there, again, for the classes that we offer. And then again, our exhibition program, again, is kind of fundamental to our programming.
I think it's cool too when the bar is low, and I mean that in a good way.
Right.
Like if I come in and sign up for a painting class, I don't feel like you're teaching like painting 300 level.
Right.
I can come in and just make a painting and see what's inside. And I think especially for adults who don't do a lot of art and don't use that creative part of their brains very often, that can be scary to just face an empty canvas.
Absolutely, and our classes are really designed for all levels, and you kind of think, how can that possibly work? How could you possibly have a beginner painter next to an expert painter and it really truly work? But it does, and the strength of it comes from our instructors and their ability to kind of tailor that, which they do, and you see that. You see the beginner and you see the expert coming back again and again to take these classes, and they teach you it's not scary, don't worry about failure. I mean, that's the one thing important about art, that failure is good, because then from failure, obviously, you're going to learn and you're going to try something new, both for the beginner and the expert. You kind of have to go through that process. But the classes are designed that way, to kind of embrace and be able to be something for all levels and ability.
And you mentioned, some of the summer classes. Is there anything that you do differently in winter or that people can look forward to?
For our class programming?
For kids, do you do anything over breaks or anything like that?
Like I said, we kind of focus in on the all-day camps on the days the elementary school is closed. So I think that fills a real need for parents in the Valley. And then our after-school programming. And we offer a pre-K class on Wednesday morning, and that's a free pre-K class for little kids. And we have them young. I mean, we can have them where they can't even hold a crayon in there to, up to 3 and 4 years old, and they come accompanied by a guardian, a parent, or a babysitter, or an aunt, or a grandma, or a dad. And again, what you see is a lot of times the parents are just, again, wanting a place to connect with other people, be with friends, to chat, to have their children kind of interact with other kids, and it's all over art, which is really great.
Since it's fairly new that the Red Brick is a department of the city, is there anything that you see moving forward that will be different or new or evolving? Every organization has to evolve and change over time, just like we do, just like artists do. Is there anything you see there?
I see that as underneath the city, it's reconfirming the intent of the Red Brick as home to kind of nonprofits, to artists, to be this community center. But we've also started to kind of explore at that core what could it be? How can we serve the community? I think what we're kind of zeroing in on is this diversity of uses is really important, and having that mix is really kind of core to the Red Brick. So expanding on that, I think, is important. Right now we have a lot of single-use studio space, but are there opportunities to have short-term studio space or project-based studio space? There are other opportunities for collaborations with community centers up and down the valley, which I think are really important, because as we all know, our community is not just Aspen, it's the Roaring Fork and even beyond. And how can we grow those connections and relationships more? Yeah.
One thing that's I think is really neat is over the years is that it seems like maybe there's more diversity over the types of artists that are here, which isn't necessarily have anything to do with the city, but I know, walking down, there's actually a jewelry maker, and you can go into her studio and you can buy some of her jewelry, which in some ways it makes the whole place more accessible, because you feel like, oh, I can walk in and say hello to someone who's in the midst of making something.
Right, and the artists know that when they get studio space in the Red Brick, they understand that their doors will be open. And that they do need to welcome people into their studio space, but they often choose the Red Brick because of that. They don't want an insular space. They want to be part of something bigger and broader, and they want people in. So yeah.
Another aspect I think that is amazing about this space that I don't know if many people in Aspen take advantage of is the lawn. It's incredible. It is long, it is grassy, it has chairs and tables. We had our community picnic here this year.
I know, it was so wonderful. City Council just decided to really highlight the red brick and highlight, I think, specifically the lawn and the beauty of it. And it is such a unique place. And I think really reconfirms the importance of the red brick and in its history, you know, in the history of what the red brick has been to Aspen, starting off as a school. And schools are often, you know, kind of the heart of communities, you know, and to evolve into now a community center and continue to evolve really kind of reconfirms, you know, what the red brick's place. It's special. It's, yeah, this lawn with these beautiful trees, and you know, you see that during the summer because we have tables and chairs set up that people are just stopping and having a picnic there, or meeting friends to play frisbee or visit. That again, it's one of these kind of treasured little spaces in Aspen.
Yeah. Have you ever done, or could you ever see doing maybe like a sculpture exhibit?
Yes, absolutely. Because again, with the lawn that it's just set up, it's perfect for that kind of exhibition space. And it'd be great to have kind of like your inside out exhibition, where instead of you're used to going inside, you know, to see art, that could you see it outside.
Is there anything that stands out for you about your job day to day that you especially love, or that you find is the most interesting, or people might not know that you do?
You know, for me, I just come to love so much the constant activity. And there's a lot of activity at the Red Brick, so sometimes maybe the downside is it's hard to find that little space of concentration because there are so many different people coming through. But I actually just really love that it's a kind of a constant beehive of people coming in, learning, wanting to talk with you, being active and social and engaging. So yeah.
When's the next opening?
Our next opening will be November the 15th. I believe I have that date right. It's on a Thursday. The current show just opened last week or a couple weeks ago, and that one is called Beyond the Square, so please come out and see that. And then our next show will open mid-November, and it's called More Than Thread. We've recently decided on our 2019 exhibition calendar, so that will be posted to our website as well soon. So we have a lot of exciting art coming up.
So people can find out on the Red Brick website.
Yes.
Aspen Parks and Recreation does a lot of the Facebook. The City of Aspen does a bunch of the Facebook. Yep. People can come by. You often have ads in the paper around the time where you have exhibits. And exhibits are about every 6 weeks.
About every 6 weeks.
On Thursdays.
Yes. Yeah.
Any last tidbits?
No, just come to the Red Brick and see what's happening.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful place. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Come visit the Red Brick. Come sit outside. Come see the art. Visit the artists, and you will not be sorry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mitzi.
Thank you.
You're watching CGTV, Community Government Television, Channel 11, Pitkin County, City of Aspen, and Town of Snowmass Village.
The City of Aspen, established in 1881, has over 220 full-time employees, a number that swells to more than 425 with the addition of seasonal and temporary workers. Organized into more than 20 departments, the City of Aspen provides major amenities like parks, a rec center, and open space, and services like utilities and police and Kids First to its residents and visitors. From the golf course to the Community Development Department, the Wheeler Opera House to the Parking Department, the City of Aspen and its employees strive to do the best job possible. A major goal of the city is keeping open communication between the government and the citizens. Welcome to City Matters, a show where the city does matter, and matters of the city are brought to you.